There she is. Good morning and welcome to UUFT. We are so thankful you're here and we hope that you find your experience meaningful. We extend a special welcome to any visitors or newcomers. Let us know if you would like more information about our faith and we'd be happy to visit with you about our values and principles. You're welcome here regardless of your beliefs, your race, your age, how you identify, or whom you love. Please turn off all cell phones and other devices. Please be aware that this service is being streamed and also preserved in an electronic form on our YouTube channel. Check the bulletin boards in the gathering space and on our website, uuft.org. Also, all of our songs are in the hymnals that have been distributed around the hall. The opening song, number 1046, Shall We Gather at the River, is in the teal hymnal. All of the remaining songs are in the gray hymnals. The numbers on the slide and in the bulletin will direct you to the songs in the book. We also have the words on the slides, but sometimes they're a little bit harder to read. Today, we extend a special welcome, an invitation to ponder nature, healing, and the universe. Nature must be experienced through all of our senses. I've tried to use the slides to offer sight experiences that match with the service elements. And the messages and music guide all your senses as well. However, I encourage you to take it further and imagine the sounds, smells, tastes, and feel of those environments you're hearing about and seeing. Experience yourself as part of the service, as part of nature, as part of the universe. And I believe David has an announcement.
Good morning, everybody. I'm David Schaeffer, as most of you know, and prepared to be amazed. So some months ago, Micah came to me, Micah Forstein, and said, we should apply for this grant. He says it's from the federal government, and it's to do security stuff. Well, we went ahead and did it, and lo and behold, we got the max amount. We have $150,000 to increase the security, which applies to a lot of things like replacing the glass doors here, putting more lighting in the parking lot, and better securing our kids' wing. So there's a lot that's going to be done in the next 30 months, and keep your eyes open. And thank you, Micah, for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you. Aaron, do you have any announcements from RE? Okay, thank you.
How about the bake sale next week?
Oh, yes, you're right.
No free goodies next week.
I suppose there are always announcements, really, coming from RE. Yes, we do have a bake sale next week. Normally, there are treats out on the table for everybody to come and enjoy and put a little donation in for them. But next week, we will be selling them, and the money will go to RE. So if you would like to donate a baked good, you can definitely do that. And you can come in and bring money with you and buy baked goods.
Thank you. Now please welcome Dennis Bosley to light the chalice. Special thanks to Kimmy Woodworth for writing the chalice lighting verse.
Healing is entirely inseparable from learning. To heal is to learn about our flaws, our aches, our strengths. And to be healed by nature is to allow it to act as our mirror. So we may see ourselves in the natural world. The oak is still an oak, as an acorn or sapling, for the might within is only sleeping. And though you may be unable to see it, the oak sleeps within you as well. It will only take learning to awaken your might. We light this chalice to honor the resting glory within each of us.
Didn't get lit again. Yeah. Thank you, Dennis and Kimmy, for that chalice lighting.
Now, if you will all rise as you are willing and able. Our song is number 1046, Shall We Gather at the River? Shall we gather at the river where bright angels' feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with washing up its silver spray. We shall walk and worship ever all the happy golden day. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God. Ere we reach the shining river, may we ever burden down. Grace our spirits will deliver and crown. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. We'll reach the shining river. Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God.
And at this time, please welcome Erin Forstein, our Director of Religious Education, to share her story for all ages entitled Wonder Walkers by Misha Archer.
Good morning. Children of all ages, you may come up if you'd like. And the pictures, of course, will be up there. I really like this book. There are not a lot of words, I have to warn you. But think about the words. Wonder walkers. Doesn't that look nice? Exploring. Lava fields. Wide. It does kind of look like lava flows, yes. Wonder walk? Sure. I wonder where they're going to go. Is the sun the world's light bulb? Have you ever wondered that? Is fog the river's blanket? Have you ever been out in a really foggy day and felt blanketed by the fog? I have. Yes, that is fun. You went on a bike ride in the fog. You went on a wonder ride. That's kind of cool. I want to hear more about what you saw. Do mountains have bones? Are forests the mountains' fur? No? Okay. I wonder. Me too. Look, they're getting down very close to the flowers. I wonder what they're thinking about by the flowers. Are trees the sky's legs? No? Kind of looks like they might be. Something to think about. Okay, Pinky, here's one for you. Ready? Are branches the tree's arms? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, is dirt the world's skin? Maybe. Sometimes our skin gets a little crusty. Are roots the plant's toes? It might be. I like to put my toes down in the dirt. Do you put your toes in the dirt? That's true. Yeah, in mud. I like to put my toes in the mud too, and in wet sand. That's fun. Ooh, thinking of sand, look. Do caves have mouths? Okay. Ooh, this is a pretty one. Are shells the shore's necklaces? Maybe. Is the ocean the world's bath? Thank you, Stella. It's a big bathtub, yes. Are the rivers the earth's veins? Okay. Thinking of air, Stella. Is the wind the world breathing? I see where today is going to go. Okay. Is rain the day's tears? No, we have a lot of no's. I think about this. Maybe sometimes when you cry, it can rinse something out of your eyes. Maybe the rain is rinsing something out of the earth's atmosphere, cleaning out the world a little bit. Okay. Oh. Is the moon the world's nightlight? Could you use a mirror as a nightlight if a light is if it's reflecting light? So maybe the moon could be a night. I wonder. Me too. Do you ever go and explore and wonder about things? I wonder if we should do that. Soon. Not today. Today we are going to start our new classes, and that is so exciting. Okay, so can we sing? Do we have that? Or is it This Little Light of Mine? Okay. Can you join me in singing This Little Light of Mine while Neve carries out the lantern, and we will follow Neve to our classes.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Now is the time where we offer a chance to share your joys and concerns, whether they be about the fellowship or whether they be about your life outside of UUFT. Please come to the microphone, introduce yourself, and speak directly into the microphone. And so joys, concerns, and any announcements you may have, you can offer now. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Walt Racker, and I'm pleased to announce that next Sunday, September 3rd, Terry Harmon, longtime member and UU archivist extraordinaire, turns 80 years old. So I'd like to encourage everybody to send him a birthday card. He doesn't feel like having visitors right now, but I know in our dotage, we all enjoy getting the daily mail. So thanks in advance.
Good morning. I'm Richie McDonald, and I can only talk about two things, and one of them is dinners for 8. It is time to resume. I have started a list. If you want to participate or if you have questions, see me after the service today.
Well, I am happy to announce that I have a new great-granddaughter. She was born she was born on August the 6th, and her name is Riley Rose Rutherford.
I'm Cheyenne,
I'm Dylan.
and we are officially moved into our new apartment.
Thank you for sharing your joys and concerns with us. Now, would you please sing with us as we... Oh,
I think we have one more. Kate, we have one more.
oh, I'm sorry.
And while she's getting up here, I will add that RJ, most of you remember her by RJ, was accepted into a special program at Starr King. It's a Unitarian Divinity School for people who do not yet have their BAs, but when she's done with this program, she will have an MDiv.
I'm Deborah Scanlon, and Tuesday, this coming week, I will be moving to Lawrence and trying to juggle both getting here and enjoying life there.
All right, well, thank you for sharing your joys and concerns with us. We all like to know how everyone is doing. And also then please sing with us as we start to take up the offering. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. For taking up the offering, and we'll go ahead and go to our reading. Please welcome Kimmy Woodworth, who both wrote and will perform this morning's reading entitled Leave Behind.
Run into the age-old issue that I am tall. Okay, this is Leave Behind. I am walking home when I see one singular downy feather perfectly perched atop a pile of dead leaves and twigs. It shakes vigorously in the wind, grabbing my attention. It says, "Look and listen, for I have a message for you." As it succumbs and blows away, I realize my own lack of knowledge. I do not know the species. I do not know if this feather came from a baby or an adult bird that has recently molted. And though I do not know for sure the fate of this animal, I feel deeply in my heart that a miracle has happened here. Sorry. Something had to change and grow so profoundly that it was necessary to shed a piece of itself. a piece that to me, the observer, seems small and insignificant, but to the owner, that piece is something that was created with loving effort. And is that not the quintessence of healing? To change and grow, we often must leave behind that which we built, that which we created to serve a purpose. Nature is change, growth, and healing, and we are nature. The natural world releases that which has lost its purpose. Again, I say, we are nature. We struggle because we fear release. Learning that to relinquish can be better than to hold takes practice. But every day, eggs, feathers, teeth, branches, and even fruits are let go when no longer needed. I doubt we could be so different. Healing is painful at times. It's funny that way, that relief and sorrow could both be true at the same time. And through your journey, you will leave behind small fragments of yourself that once served a purpose. Fragile, aching, and perhaps beautiful, like one singular downy feather, perfectly perched atop a pile of dirty leaves and sticks. Two things true at once.
And thank you, Kim, for that profound and inspiring reading.
I brought these plants today from the land I live with so that we could experience nature together. I'm going to invite you to come and pick one of these plants for a meditation we'll do together. There's goldenrod and mint and garden pea and red clover, and maybe if your neighbor wants you to pick one for them, check with them. But if you could get up and bring a plant with you back to your seat, that would be lovely. Vicky can help cut goldenrod for folks. Yes. Yes. As we're picking out plants, I'll let you know that goldenrod has more antioxidants in it than green tea. And red clover helps with bones, osteoporosis issues. Mint is a digestive aid and soother of the body and mind. What else do we have out there? False pea, many pollinators. Wasps and bees love it. I love that someone got the apple. There's also an echinacea you're welcome to enjoy. I see you are experts at this already. You've already begun to look closely, smell, wave around your plant. This is forest bathing meditation. This is getting intimate with a plant being. I'm going to invite us to go through the 5 senses with our plants, and maybe some interior senses as well. We begin with the sense of sight. Beholding the colors and the shades of color, as well as lines, shapes, and edges. We might notice the tiniest of hairs or indents. as well as what's on the other side. And keeping this plant's image with us, we might let our eyelids close partway or most of the way down, however you're comfortable. And let our inner eye come to our breath. Watching the inhale and the exhale. Finding the place where this flowing air enters and leaves the body. Perhaps tracing from the nose or mouth how the air on the outside takes a turn and becomes air on the inside. And as it flows back out and rejoins the atmosphere, it is the same air breathed by our plant friends. Partners in breath, we exchange back and forth. We'll come to our sense of smell. If you bring an edge of your plant friend up toward your nostrils, I wonder what it is that you smell. Something new, something familiar. And coming with our mind's eye into our fingertips, imagining that each of our fingers had eyeballs on them and could see as we feel the texture of our plant, running the finger along the stem or leaves. Perhaps finding areas that are rough, smooth. And yes, we will come to the sense of hearing. You might use your fingers to ruffle and hear the noise this being offers to you. And you might even pull this plant up toward your ear and listen if it has any wisdom for you. Are there any other of your senses, the gut brain, the internal sense, the heart, that can reach out and make connection with this plant? May it be so. Opening your eyes as you're ready. Angelo Azilo was riding down the I-85 interstate of Atlanta while her husband James drove their car. They were partners in a nonprofit called the Greening Youth Foundation that nurtures environmental stewardship among diverse youth. Suddenly, Angelo heard her husband gasp, "What's wrong?" as the left side of her face started to droop. The next thing she remembers is waking up in the hospital. She was just 39 years old, and she had had a stroke. The doctors at Atlanta Medical Center gave her emergency clot-busting medicine to impede any lasting effects. After recovery, Angelo wanted to know, why did this happen? Her doctor did a full workup on her health and didn't have an answer. She practiced yoga regularly, had been a vegetarian most of her life, never smoked. Her doctor could only guess that it might have been triggered by her birth control. Her psychologist, however, thought it could have been induced by her high levels of stress. Angelo had been working endlessly, pulling long nights with little sleep, as she describes in her book, Engage, Connect, Protect, Empowering Diverse Youth as Environmental Leaders. Just 2 years into her nonprofit startup, she had little time for work-life balance. So what did he recommend? Going for 20-minute walks outside every day. Angelo considered her busy schedule and suggested that she could walk on the treadmill while she was working on her laptop, and that's how she could fit it in every day. Her psychologist said, you've got to actually be outside in nature. Why? More doctors are starting to prescribe time in nature as a part of healing and preventative medicine. And while many of us love the outdoors innately, we may not know how incredibly powerful it is to thoroughly absorb all of nature's healing properties. I've talked to a lot of gardeners and farmers who love growing local or organic food, but don't take time to rest in the green life. Many are so busy working in nature that they don't have time to slow down and relax in nature. And many people who enjoy nature for vacation or sports still spend less time outside than is optimal for our psychological, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. For most of human history, we've spent 99.99% of our time in nature, but who here gets at least an hour outside every day? Being cut off from nature has led to an increase in our collective health problems. The World Health Organization was predicting that by 2020, mental health disorders and cardiovascular diseases will be two prime contributing factors to worldwide illnesses. And the CDC was looking at unrelieved workplace stress leading to psychiatric stress-induced and anxiety-related illnesses. So what does nature do for our health? Nature lowers our concentrations of cortisol, the stress hormone. It increases our natural killer cell count, that's our enhanced immune system response. It regulates our blood pressure, it alleviates anxiety and depression symptoms, and it decreases chronic widespread pain. Do you believe me? Maybe somebody wants to ask, how? A major reason that being in nature, having quality time in nature heals us is because it increases our parasympathetic nervous system. That's the rest, digest, and heal aspect of our nervous system, balancing out the fight, flight, freeze, stress, do. There are direct physical and psychological effects of being in nature that we don't get indoors. You can read more about the examples I'm about to share on doseofnature.org.uk and then hundreds of PubMed research studies. So first, I have to give praise to phytoncides. Phytoncides are antimicrobial compounds given off by trees to fight bacteria and fungi that attack them. It's their own immune system. But guess what happens when humans touch trees or below trees, and the phytoncides get on us. It boosts our human immune system as if we're relatives. And I also have to laud Mycobacterium vacui. This is a microorganism in the soil that boosts our immune system functioning. So when your kids or grandkids are eating that dirt, eat it with them. Negative air ions. They're found in high concentrations in forested areas and near moving water, like streams. Shall we get the river and sing hallelujah? Yes. Natural sights increase our parasympathetic nervous system, our ability to relax. They restore our attention and they promote healing from within. Recently, fractals have been identified as incredibly restorative. Fractals are self-similar patterns in nature that can be found in snowflakes, plant leaves, tree branches, ocean waves, coastlines, and galaxy clusters. Think about the division of line these things have, and they especially know that the mathematical fractal dimension between 1.3 and 1.5 is the most healing. People recover 60% better when viewing those images, and they're found in nature. Nature also has the top 3 most healing sounds. Are we surprised? Could you guess what they are? You could shout it out. Ooh. Okay, we've touched on the 3 major ones. Birdsong alleviates depression. The wind moving through plant material such as tall grasses or leaves. And the sound of moving water like rain, waterfalls, trickling streams. Somebody mentioned cat purring and baby laughing. Those also increase our parasympathetic nervous system through the vibratory effects. Our vagus nerve right here vibrates, calming us down. So it's up there on the list. Environmental biodiversity plays a key role in our immune system functioning because the effects of microorganisms living on our skin and in our gut is so important. And on doseofnature.org.uk, it says that scientists are beginning to understand that the immune system and the brain are closely connected. There's more and more evidence that depression and other mental health conditions are associated with prolonged inflammation and immune system dysfunction. While previously believing that the immune system response and the brain activity were 2 separate systems, scientists now understand that at least half of our brain cells are not nerve cells, but actually immune cells called glial cells, and they communicate closely to each other. Whoa, whoa, whoa. These are just a few examples. We could go on and on about the many elements of nature that literally heal us if we spend time outdoors. Do you remember Angelo? She was told to walk outside. You can also sit outside. No wonder why. Because in tests, negative mood states and anxiety levels decreased significantly by forest walking compared with urban walking. Dr. King Lee describes research studies where groups of participants were put on the same retreat schedule, one in urban Japan and one out in the woods. Guess who fared better? Time in nature heals us. Studies have shown that it reduces depression, anxiety, stress, mental fatigue, anger and aggression, and experiences of pain. It improves mood, sleep, confidence, self-esteem, cognitive functioning, and creativity. It also increases longevity and energy and reduces symptoms associated with ADHD, trauma, psychosis, and addiction. It improves quality of life for those suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia. It reduces cognitive decline in older adults. It improves our relationships. And think about our 8 principles here. It increases our sense of gratitude, generosity, and selflessness, as well as patience, life satisfaction, and motivation. Can we give it up for nature? Okay, so I think we've made the case that being in nature is healing. Is this the end of our story? Each of us should spend more time in nature and then we feel better. Maybe. It wasn't the end of Angelo's story. Her mission continued. She went bigger. She realized that most education for youth about environmentalism was written by white people and needed editing to directly touch the lives of youth of color. And then she saw that the youth of color who were super energized to protect the environment needed opportunities for internships so they could get jobs in a white-dominated and sometimes gate-kept field. So she partnered with land management agencies and national park services to create those opportunities. We might also consider something bigger than our individual relationship with nature. Sure, each of us does need personal healing. And what about our collective healing? What about this massive ecological change that humanity collectively faces? Ecopsychologists and nature therapists are using ecotherapies to treat all sorts of mental health diagnoses and emotional stressors, including eco-anxiety, a type of anxiety about the catastrophic effects of our climate crisis. People are looking at a bigger picture beyond our individual health because a much larger paradigm is affecting all of our health. What is happening to the planet? And what does it mean for humans and for all our relations? Let's consider the big picture for a moment. Or maybe the massive picture, and then come back to this question. So the Earth is part of our sun's solar system, which is part of the Milky Way galaxy. And for measuring the galactic positions and velocities that reveal how galaxies are moving in concentrations of nearby matter, this is beyond me, but I'm reading about it. The astronomers Noam Libeskind and Brent Tully explain that we're actually a part of a supercluster of 100,000 large galaxies that the Milky Way is a part of. It's called Laniakea. Does anyone here remember the poster in the 1970s of the pale blue dot? It's like, you are here. Now it's like, you are here. And as we get that view, we see how precious and unique this life is. This video will give us a couple minutes of a view. So now we ask ourselves again about our relationship with nature, the earth, and all living beings. What does it mean to be a part of humanity on this pale blue dot? My colleague in the Sufi community, Jorge Calero, invites us to reconsider humanity's role on earth in the context of Lanya Kea. He posits that humans are actually one single organism on this planet, and that for far too long, an anthropocentric paradigm, that's one woven with religious beliefs that God created humans as the last and most important and are here to rule the earth, has gotten us into some trouble. We may need a new systemic and spiritual view. He was excited about me sharing his metaphorical inquiry with you. I'm going to show you how he thinks of humanity as a single organism. You can just take one sheet of paper and pass it down. Jorge calls this a new planetary consciousness, a way of thinking about ourselves not as individuals, but as one body, one being. Raymond, Mindy. Raymond had his hand up. Thanks. So he says that if we think of ourselves like hairs on a head, what do we collectively form together? And how might we reimagine who we are as a family, one big human family in the life of Earth? If we take a look at the phylogenetic tree in that lower left corner, we can see that animals are just one branch of this diverse tree. Humans aren't at the top of the pyramid. We don't even have our own branch. What does it mean if we consider ourselves inside of this web? Being so small in the universe, how can we grasp our role? To consider it, Jorge asks, how would we explain to a cell in the body what the Ninth Symphony is? If you turn the page over, we might see a possible explanation. If we could tell the cell, well, cell, you're part of a bunch of cells that make a tissue, and these tissues are clumped together and they make up an organ, and all these organs are part of a system, and that there's different systems in the body, and each body kind of comes out differently. There's different unique versions, and then some of these bodies get together to form the symphony. And you'd still, after explaining all that to the cell, you'd still have to explain what sound is. So if the earth is one interconnected living entity, all sharing the same breath, the same oxygen, the same carbon dioxide, the same COVID, what do we play as humanity in the body of the earth if all of humanity was just one organ in the body of Gaia? Gaia, sometimes thought of as Mother Earth or the living being of the planet, is on her own path of evolution, as we just saw in the solar system and the galaxies. And we might wonder if humans aren't the last and final act of creation, then what? I wonder how we can understand our human lives in the context of 100,000 galaxies in a supercluster. And if we sense there's something beyond humanity as a last and final act of an anthropocentric story by a white superhuman man in the sky, if there's something more than that, then what are we? If we look at how the dinosaurs were tremendous in their age and now only exist in the form of chickens and other birds, how do we want to show up today as humans? For ourselves, for our children, and for all beings. Not knowing how this big expansion and mystery will continue to unfold. Within that picture, I ask the question, how do we collectively want to relate to nature? So I'm up here at the podium for a very, very brief speck of dust in time, and it might seem like it's getting long to some of you, but we know that it's a blip and it's disappearing forever. And so my answer to this question is so irrelevant, much less than what our collective answer may be. I'm one of 8 billion humans on the planet, and like the edge of my pinky fingernail that someday soon will get clipped off, we are on this edge together. And I'm wondering what we would like to scratch at, tickle, poke, soothe in our brief time as community while we're here. I'll just offer this. Could it be that the very beings that calm us down, that regulate our nervous systems, and that bring us into healing, also whisper sweet nothings in our ears about our place in the symphony of life? Let's listen to our plant friends and to each other for a few minutes of congregational dialogue. You can turn to 2 or 3 people next to you and share your thoughts on nature as healer, on humanity's role in the planet, on this evolution. And then we'll call you back together. Sounds like everyone's having some good conversations.
It's about 33, so do you want me to start calling people back or wait a couple minutes?
I think we can call people back just to make sure that we get done in time. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm going to do one more last big bubble. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Hello? Hi. All right. Hi. All right. It's time to kind of return to your seat now. And we will go through to the end of the service, but I hope you enjoyed the congregational dialogue, which I will admit I most of the time say congressional dialogue because it's just easier. But I did say congregational that time, so I get a thumbs up, and I hope everyone felt heard and felt like you heard other people, and great job. So.
was just going to invite you all out to my place for a walk, sit in nature. It's lovely. 21. All right. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, lensing sense to sound and sight, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the friendship we all share, for the gentle thoughts and mild, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
This is an excerpt of a poem by John O'Donohue. Draw alongside the silence of stone until its calmness can claim you, and be excessively gentle with yourself.
It is now time to end our service by extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you.